34. Secretary Gretchen, if you can start a roll call.
President Hassan, President. Vice President Kwan.
Present.
Senator Singh. Speaker All.
Here.
Senator Magnus.
Present.
Senator Kanga. Here. Senator Babiote. Senator Maceo. Here. Senator C. Here. Senator Joyce.
Here.
Senator Spiridonova. Here. Senator Najib. Yeah. Here. Senator Jettie.
Here.
Senator Hicks.
Here.
Senator Nowoslowski.
Yes. Nowoslowski, but here.
Senator Morris. Here. Senator Bartlett.
Here.
Senator Walsh.
Present.
Senator Jones.
Here.
Senator McCarthy.
Here.
Senator Jar. Here. Senator Cardamom. Senator Jane.
Here.
Senator Roth.
Present.
Senator Downer.
Here.
Senator Keating.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Present.
Senator Fink.
Here.
AVP Zavengros. Here. AVP Hooks. Present. Director Yasin.
Present.
Director Bowling.
Present.
Director Jakubowski.
Here.
Director Stevens.
Here.
Director Kosick. Present. Advisor Johnson. Present.
Okay, I want to open the floor to any announcements. AVP Spellers.
My event is March 1st. Whoever signed up, I just want to let you know the t-shirts are ordered, and I'll probably email whoever did sign up just to remind you a day or two before. And keep that in mind, it's in the Fentar Ballroom, and whoever else would like to come, it's the major fair, and it's going to be fun.
Senator Roth.
The Graduate Student Association is putting on sort of a like a mixer for grads and undergrads going to grad school on March 8th in the afternoon. So people are welcome to come here for those considering grad school. And graduates in calendar future, Graduate Student Appreciation Week is coming around the 1st or 2nd week of April. There's going to be some mixed events there as well.
Thank you. Treasurer Singh.
I just passed out the budget update. Please take a minute and look at it if anyone has a question on the
Does anyone have any questions for Treasurer Singh?
We have a couple more.
Let's go.
Any other announcements? Director Yasin.
On the 25th of this month, there will be Coffee Talks, which is next Thursday. If you guys are free on the 25th, 11:30, 12:30, stop by. You might learn a thing or two about some religions. So if you're interested in learning, please feel free to stop by. Number 2, the clothing drive for Syrian refugees begins on Monday, and it will be Monday. The closed gathering will be in the Student Center atrium, and on Fridays it will be in Mather Mansion. So if you guys want to spread the word, please go ahead. I'd appreciate that, and you're more than welcome to stop by to volunteer, or if you want to see what's going on. Did it say it might count as office hours?
Yes.
Okay, so if you guys want to stop by, make use of your office hour. Please stop by and lend a hand. Thank you.
AVP Hooks.
Thanks. Career Services is sponsoring the career fair that is next Friday. So please, we need you guys to get the word out. Our advisor Johnson, is helping out Career Services. So it's going to be on the same day that the Final Friday is on. So the senators that helped me last Final Friday, could you please help me, because I'm going to be with our advisor for Career Services. The plus about the career fair this year, you guys, they heard the students, and they know that before it was heavy with business, heavy with engineering. We have a lot of different companies this year, and they're looking for everything from engineers to accountants to sales to marketing. So we really need you guys to spread the word and get your constituents to come to the career fair. And also, there's an app. It's called Careers by Simplicity that you can download. It's for the Android and for the iPhone, so you can look at it right now to see which ones you want to go to, who you want to stop. So when you go to the career fair, you're going straight to that person. You know what they're looking for. You can tailor your resume and your cover letter to fit that. Yes.
Is there a is there handouts in the office for that?
We have the posters that are going to be all around. We put the table tents out, so we'll try to email you whatever else you need. Do you need anything?
I was just wondering if there's like hot cards or.
Yeah, they have actually been in our office. They're all around campus.
Okay.
And then the second thing is just the Final Fridays for our senators that haven't been videotaped. Please, if you can see Director Stevens to get videotaped. We just want to know what your senator project is going to be for this semester. Make it fun because it's going to run on a loop, and this way the TV that sits outside will also have information, and that includes the new senators that are coming in.
Any other announcements? Senator Payne.
I just want to give a quick update on my senator project. I've started to work with Student Life to find out ways to better promote these student orientation days in the spring, try to get more orgs to be present at them. So if you have any questions, recommendations, comments, feel free to see me.
Senator Jones.
Nika and I are hosting a Meet the Dean March 1st in the atrium. I believe 11 to what?
1:30.
1:30?
Yeah, 1.
11 to 1. Food, wings, a good time. Meet the Dean. I'll be talking, so come watch me talk. It'll be a great time. I'll be talking about our arts career fair that'll happen the first week of April, I believe. And that's it. So I'll update more about the arts career fair here in April and come out March 1st.
Senator Rosito.
So yeah, what Keegan said, as a result of that, we've been doing a lot of collaboration with the faculty of class and constituents, advocating for them. So Paul, if you could entertain a motion to move me from College of at-large to seat of class, representing College of Arts and Science.
Well, would somebody want to entertain Senator C?
I move to move Senator Messinio from at-large to class seat.
Senator Key.
A second.
Motion on the floor is to move Senator Macio from the Senator at-large seat to the Senator of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Science. Is there any discussion on the matter? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. Any other announcements, Senator Key?
I'm gonna be cleaning out some of the cabinets this week, or next week, sorry. If anybody's interested in helping me, please do so. The more the merrier, the more hands help get it done quicker, so we can kind of organize the office a little better.
With that, we just want to make sure that we're not throwing out any public documents or anything, so we'll just make sure that we get confirmation from either Advisor Johnson or Dr. Yarber that we can throw those out. But good idea. So if any senators want to help with Senator Keating, please let them know. Any other, President Watson?
Advisor Johnson and Dr. Yarber, can we utilize the storage space under SC for some of those things?
Why don't we coordinate that with you? Part of it depends on how much you're talking about.
Okay.
And what it is that's being stored. Paper documents are a little more challenging, but if there are other items, we can talk about that.
When we get everything collected, we'll come to you two and we'll see what we can do with that. Any other announcements? Director Yassin?
Just one last thing in regards to the clothing drive. I just want to pass out this flyer, so if you guys want to take a quick look at it, gather some more information for yourselves, that'd be great. Thanks.
Senator LaForce?
Senator Nowoslavsky and I have been working with the Dean of the Business School. Our first project is we're getting a filtered water fountain on the first floor of the business college. It's going to be in the atrium right by the cafe where most of the students are.
Senator Nowoslavsky?
Yeah, so we're trying to get that drinking fountain, and then we're also working on getting a TV in there, just kind of updating it, and so especially with the debates going on at the business college, we get that in there, maybe get Fox or station.
And I met with Bass, and the service request is already in, and the business school has actually offered to pay for it, so our Senate dollars are saved, so that's a really good thing. He was really excited about that. Another thing I wanted to do originally was do an undecided major fair for the business school, but since AVP Spengross is doing one this semester, I talked to the Assistant Dean of Undergraduates, and she wants to incorporate that in the fall with the ASC 101 classes and kind of make it a requirement for the freshmen to go to this as part of the class. I think that'd be a good thing, because I would have liked that as freshmen. So that's kind of where we're at in the business world.
Any other announcements? President Watson?
Just going off of that, speaking about drinking fountains, I was at a diversity council meeting with Dr. Hahn, who runs FAST, and he said that if we have leftover dollars this year, if we could donate them so we could put drinking fountains in the library on the second, third, and fourth floors. So just to think about that moving forward as we teach the center.
Thank you. Senator Ring?
I did my senator project with Senator Gregg and Senator Johnson on the Flint drive, water drive, and I collabed with them, and we had a good crowd and good donation.
Great. Awesome. Any other announcements? I just have a couple. Today, AVP Hooks, she got a label maker, and in the back where all those slots are, she made mailboxes for all the senators and directors. So please utilize those if possible. So if any of us have anything to give to others, that's a place we can use them. Please respect everything that's in there, because sometimes we do put our own personal stuff in there. So please just make sure you are respecting other people's property. Also, for those who helped out with Senator Babiote and my event yesterday, thank you very much. Great turnout, career services. Really good turnout. We got a lot of feedback, so what we can improve on. So that was really good. Again, thank you to those SGA members who were there supporting and helping out. We really appreciate it. Senator Babiote, if you want to say anything about it.
It went really well. Surprisingly, everyone was satisfied with the block of tacos. And we plan on trying to make this an annual thing and trying to do it next year and make it better and bigger. So, thank you guys so much for your support.
Thank you. And does anyone else have anything? AVP Hooks?
Sorry, I forgot. Career Services is also doing a Dress for Success next Tuesday. I suggest everyone take a moment and visit, watch the show, look at the business attire, look at what we're looking for, and we go out there to represent SGA, and also you represent yourself as a potential employee.
What's the time and location for that?
Student Center, atrium, from 11 to 12:30, or 1. I think it's 12:30.
Okay. Let's go with that. Anything else? Can I please get a motion to ratify the meeting minutes from the February 5th Senate meeting? Senator C.
I move to
Ratify.
ratify from the February 5th meeting.
Can I get a second, Senator LaHorse?
I second.
Motion on the floor is to ratify the meeting minutes from the February 5th, 2016 Senate meeting. Is there any discussion on this? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. First, okay, we have members from the Board of Elections to come and give us an update.
Oh, you want me to
Yeah,
put it down
yeah,
there?
I was-
Okay.
Okay, hi, my name is Tasha. I am the chair of the Board of Elections, and hi, I'm Aruhi, and I'm the associate chair. Yes, so we just wanted to introduce ourselves, and we're really excited to get involved with the election process. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us. We're here to help.
And we'll be working on making these elections a really smooth process for you.
Anyone have any questions? AVP?
Are there any major changes from years past? Like, is it basically going to be the same thing with the training and several different trainings? And okay.
Yes, it is. I know the one thing that did change was the rule about the phones, but we'll go over that in training.
Any others? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make sure to forward Tasha's email out to everybody, just in case anyone has any questions. You can shoot her an email. Next, we have members from Student Affairs who give a Student Affairs update.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be with you. Let me start by categorically saying I really love the connections that many of you are making with your projects relating back to careers or majors or internships. So whether you're working with a specific college, working with the career fair, all of those kinds of things, at the end of the day, the education is about preparing you for that career. And the more we can get that message out to all students, the better served we will all be. So thank you for your commitment to that. I applaud your work. A couple of quick things. I also wanted to thank SGA for the fabulous program they did yesterday in partnership with Career Services. Resounding success. I was sharing with the Career Services team last night, and we were celebrating the great success we had and love partnering with you. We look forward to doing many more events with you in the future. Also, speaking of success, last week we had the first ever internship summit here at Cleveland State for all of Northeast Ohio. We had 245 employers come and hear from nationally renowned panelists talk about the value and importance of internships. I've been following up with all of the companies that came here that are not currently offering internships, and we're working on helping them get started and what that would look like. Some of them might just be able to do 1 or 2 internships as a small startup company. Others have said, I want to hire 40 CSU students. Let's figure out what that looks and feels like. So again, resounding success. Also to echo what several people have already mentioned, we have the upcoming career fair this February 26th. Whether you are in the market for an internship or a job yourself, I'm asking each of you as members of SGA to come to the career fair, be present, be visible, be supportive of your fellow colleagues and students that are looking for jobs and internships, and candidly, network. Get to see what it looks like. So even if you're a first-year student or a second-year student, you'll know what it looks and feels like, so you'll be more prepared and less intimidated next time around. As already been mentioned, Jamie has been doing yeoman's work and stepping forward and helping us in the career services world prepare for that. So I think you'll see some new touches this year. I'm very excited about that. 2 more things. One, I hope you already know about, but on February 1st, we officially launched Lift Up Bikes, which is a resource center for students. It is in the lower level of the rec center. So if you go down to the lowest level and kind of work your way back to, what's the road? Chester, thank you. It's on that road, so if anybody knew where the old Child Development Center was, it's in that same space. But you can ask anybody there, and they'll be happy to get you pointed in the right direction. They've already set up their food pantry. They're partnering with the Greenville Food Bank, and we're having resounding success. So please stop by and visit and show your support.
Just to piggyback, I was in a meeting with Jillian the other day, and she knew that we were having an SGA meeting, and she said the quickest way that you guys can help with that is if you are doing an event, and you can say, hey, come to our event and bring a canned good. Absolutely. And things like that. So the point that she made is there are people that are hungry, there are students on campus that are hungry, not just during Christmas and Thanksgiving, but daily. So if we could all, as we're doing our events, add that, bring a canned good, and we'll make sure that we have bids and things like that. And that's something that we can do year round. So we're always saying, oh, and we're still doing the food drive, so bring a canned good.
Also, I spoke with Willette, who works at the Women's Center. At the Women's Center, there's also an area in which you can donate or grab canned goods and food and personal hygiene items that are useful to any student. And there's no shame necessary. Like, you can walk in the door, you can walk out, grab what you need, you can walk out, and it's completely anonymous. And it's a great tool for our students. And I feel like it should be heavily advocated so that everyone knows that they can use that as a resource.
You're our best commercials. Thank you. That's fabulous. Last thing I'll share with you, another event on February 26th. It's a politically speaking series. There are 4 events that are happening starting the 26th going through June with 4 different colleges in the area. Cleveland State got the limelight and being first to host this event. There are some seats still available. And there is rumor that some of the presidential candidates are working to stop by for this event. So I can't confirm or deny any of that, but I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. If you are interested, I need you to write this down, or maybe you can go out in the minutes. You got it? Okay, perfect. So you can just look at the sign, and at the bottom, there's a website you need to go to register. It is free, but you must register to be able to get in. And last I checked, I think there are like 35 tickets unclaimed so far. So be quick if you're interested in that. I'm going to have to leave for another commitment, but I'm happy to entertain any questions if you may have them before I leave. Yes.
The last event you were speaking, the Big Red Rose, what's that about?
Yeah, it's a whole series to talk about the politics of the RNC coming into town, to talk about particularly the first topic on February 26th is Ohio's role in choosing a president. As a new person to the state of Ohio, I think it's fascinating to learn the key role that the state of Ohio has played in the last 12 elections, I think. A really pivotal role in terms of choosing who our next president will be. So this particular topic is going to be on that issue itself. Future topics include the presidential primary process, why polling still matters, and the economic impact of the national political conventions. Thank you for asking. But as Emily pointed out, this poster I think is hanging in the office. Yeah, thank you for that.
Any other questions for Dr. Yarbrough?
Thanks for your advocacy for our students.
Dr. Johnson, did you have anything?
I just have a few like little housekeeping type things with your Senator project or anything that you're working on. If you're doing any type of ordering, I really need to know preferably 2 weeks in advance so we're not ordering things last minute. And I know a lot of you are new to ordering things such as food and t-shirts, etc. But we really need to be on the ball when it comes to these things. It's not that I'm trying to be particular about it. The university takes time to process such things. So I can do the best on my end to try to expedite these things, but there's only so much that I can do. So if you have an event coming up that has food or you're wanting t-shirts or promotional items, please get in touch with me so we can make sure that these happen and we have a timeline.
So just please make sure you're in contact with Treasurer Singh and I, senators, for your projects. That way we can keep Advisor Johnson in the loop and everything. Thank you for that. All right, next we have Executive Board update from President Lasso.
Just a couple quick things. First of all, thank you all for participating and organizing the Wake Up Call event. I think you've heard it's been a great success. Just a few things. So the President's Council on Diversity had our second meeting this past week. They're doing some great things to assess the climate on diversity in the university and stuff like that. If you are interested in taking over that role, it does go through the summer and then into next year. Please contact me as soon as possible because I'd like to get you involved early now so we can make a smooth transition. Next, the Parking Advisory Committee meets next Tuesday, so if you have any suggestions, any complaints, please send them my way in any form, any email, text, whatever. The textbook survey that Director Stevens sent out, I hope everyone got it, or it's even like a link in a text message. You can send it. It's really easy. It's 3 questions. Please send it out to all your friends. Take it yourself. We're just assessing like the cost of textbooks because a few of us are 2 senators and Speaker All and myself and Vice President Plum are going to the Board of Trustees on March 2nd to address this issue of affordability on textbooks and access codes. That's all I have.
Any questions for President Lawson? Next, we have a cabinet report from AVP Kosek. Casa. You gotta pick one. What do you want first?
Yeah, that's Alright, hi friends, how are you doing? I know, it's exciting. Alright, so I got a lot for you. I'm basically going to explain to you my whole life, what I've been up to this whole time, so I'm excited about that. If you guys didn't know, last Saturday, a group of us went to Ohio Student Government Summit, which is OSGS. It was hosted by Akron. 7 members of RSGA went, Vice President Kwan, Secretary Brett, Amy Hooks, Senator Maceo, Senator Kingdon, Senator Joyce, and myself. It's a great opportunity networking with colleges, seeing what other student governments are doing. It's a really valuable opportunity because we all kind of face the same problems. There's a keynote speaker there, Kevin Smith, who spoke about how you can be elected and defeated. Alright, and so there's breakout sessions there. The first breakout session, there was 2 options we could go to. utilize social media to target your audience. Because we're advocating for students, I feel this is a very, prominent issue. So Senator Joyce and I went to that one, and I really encourage you guys, if you guys ever want to utilize social media, really brainstorm with each other, talk to each other about it, because I feel like our student government, we don't talk about student government on Twitter, and I feel like we should. I feel like we should, advocate on Instagram for student government. I feel like we should have more of a social media presence. So if you guys need any ideas about that, Senator Joyce and I would be happy to share some of the things that we've learned. For the next option, there was Organization is the New Black, and it's to share how to keep your student government organized despite rapid turnover. So all the rest of the members that were there, so you can see like Vice President Plum or Secretary Gretsch, anybody of that nature, Senator Buchanan, I'm sure they would have some helpful advice for you. So for the second option, for the second breakout session, there's also two options. Administrators are people too, so that's to review the best practices in identifying and communicating with decision makers, and Secretary Gretsch and Vice President Plum went to that one, so if you have any questions about that, go to them. It's conflicticated was another one. All the rest of the members went to that, and sometimes we have trouble in our own organization. Everybody has trouble in organizations, so I think this was a really effective meeting. If you guys have any questions about what we learned there, we'd be happy to share. So a really valuable thing that happened were the Ohio Roundtable discussion topics. And so basically all of these different student governments, we got together because we're all facing the same problems in Ohio. Part of these issues were, the sexual assault on campus. Senator Maceo spoke on behalf of CSU about this issue, really represented us very well, talked about, SAS that happened in sexual assault awareness seminar, for those of you who don't know. And then the next issue was transgender students. I spoke on behalf of CSU about this issue because I'm a resident assistant. There's a lot of things that happen in housing with that issue, so I got to speak, and that was really nice. Campus tobacco ban. Vice President Plum spoke about this issue on behalf of CSU, talked about how we used to have people enforcing it and what it looks like at other colleges. Student trustee voting rights. Student fee subsidized athletics. We had that happen with the wrestling team. It's quite interesting because other schools, they don't want that to happen. They don't want other students to pay more for athletics, but in our case, we kind of advocated for that. So, it was interesting to see how other schools handle it. Online classes in higher education, AVP Hooks and I both spoke on that issue because both of us are very familiar with that issue as far as, non-traditional students and understanding that CSU has a really good option for online classes and that you're not kind of losing your credibility with that. So what came about this meeting? Why am I telling you all of these things? After a discussion about the student trustee voting rights, several universities met and discuss how we can get that to happen. So for those of you who don't know, there's students who sit on the board of trustees. That's our highest, council. That's our highest application to the students. However, these students do not have any voting rights. The students can be kicked out of meetings whenever, and they also can, in some schools, not our schools, they can be banned based on the scholarships that they get. So if they're a very good student academically, they may not technically get the scholarship in other places because it's all how it works out, the politics of it. So all of us got together and we started thinking, as a student government, we always want students' voice to be heard, and we want them to be heard at the highest level. So there's a bill called Ohio Bill 183, which talks about student trustee voting rights. And basically what this bill says is that instead of having these student trustees, being kicked out, not being technically a member, all these things, it says that now, hey, students do have the right to vote. Students are technically a member. Students will have the representation at the highest level. So this is something that all of the Ohio public universities can agree on. We all want our voice heard. So we all got together and we started thinking, what can we do? A bunch of different student governments, they already said that they passed resolutions as far as this. They already said, this is a great thing. Obviously, it's going to be good. So if you look in front of you, Vice President Plum passed out the resolution. This is something that I drafted, looking at the other universities and what they had to say about it. And like I said, it's all based on Ohio House Bill 183, and so I read over that. And I also sent it out to most of the Senate members. I'm sorry if you were a new senator and that kind of got skipped, so this is your opportunity to really look over it. But I just wanted you guys to see this because I want to ask for your support as well. I want you guys to, discuss this, talk about it, but like I said, I think this is an issue that we all can really come together on. I think this is something that we can give to the Board of Trustees to show them that we're in support of this. So, if you guys want to, someone can make a motion. If not, if you want to discuss.
Yeah, I think we're gonna open the floor to discussion. President Lawson.
I just want to add one more point, before you see the resolution. These representatives are appointed by the governor, just as all the other board members, right? Like, they're appointed by the governor and everyone else has voting rights and we don't, so I think we should just, like, note that it's not like you pick random students or somebody on campus picks random students, like, these are appointed by the governor and that gives us more support and why they should be voting rights. So, if we could just note that here under, like, before, just right before the resolution.
AVP Hooks.
And also just working out of the president's office, and Paul is one of the trustees, they have just as much responsibility. If you come to commencement, they're on stage with the rest of the trustees. They have to do all the things that we're asking our trustees to do outside of the whole money option. So I think it's really important that if they have to do all this work, they should be able to have a voice. I really think that's something that we definitely should keep in mind.
Any Director Bowen?
So, just to give some background information, we have passed a version of this resolution before, 2 General Assemblies ago when I was doing it. We passed pretty much the same thing, just like supporting the bill. And I'm just playing devil's advocate, that way people know everything. What universities will say, and universities by most part are against this, giving trustee voting rights. The IUC, the Inter-University Council, has made a position where they don't want to see mandatory rights put into here. Cleveland State has no position, so if you ask the president or the board, they'll say we have no position. Or they'll reflect you to the Inter-University Council statement. Their reasoning is that when trustee members are appointed there, they're not appointed there to represent anything. They're appointed there to look after the well-being of the public institution of Cleveland State. So, in essence, if there are students, I'm just saying what they say, there are students on there who are representing a constituency when no one else is. Board of Trustees are not made to be a representative body like the Senate. They're made just to be the state body, because they're appointed by the governor, to be the state body to oversee Cleveland State. I think there are flaws in that statement, but that's what they believe in. You can choose your opinion either way. I went down to Columbus and testified over break, just as a student who's worked on the bill. I know the representative fairly well. He's the youngest representative to be elected, and he's from like the Toledo area. And just that this is really important, and I want people to really know this bill before they support it. I'd also would hope that public policy had a role in this, the committee.
Any other, Senator Roth?
I was going to say, AP Cosmic, she did with the resolution, and we were encouraged to give feedback on what we should say within it. That's really all.
Okay.
I just want to make that apparent to you guys too that I think this is fun, like, as Director Bowling said earlier, of talking about, we passed this before and, some of you might be thinking, so why would we do it again if it didn't go through the first time? Well, seeing as there's a bill proposed, it looks like we have some leeway here. It looks like we have some fire, for lack of a better word. So I think if we can get ourselves together and, have all of this as stated and, make the proper recommendations as President Haas has said, then we can go forward through this. And I think it's something big that we can state and show our university that we're advocating for your rights. So it'll be something very potential.
To sort of add on to what you're saying, I also think that it gives us a bigger voice on a state and national level, because a lot of what we do here as senators are mostly involved in our projects and internal, but what we can do here is something for the university level. And because we are advocating for university, it could have potentially a lot more weight around.
AVP Hooks.
And just to go back before that, a lot of things that Director talked about. The thing that was different when we went to the conference, when we went to the summit, you guys, we are trendsetters. A lot of things the issues that they had, we have already figured them out. So when we spoke about those different things, we figured out how to make it work. We talked about different things, so we gave a lot of feedback to the other schools. So a lot of the issues that they have, we're already solving. We're already getting apart. We talked about student life and the whole sexual assault and things like that. Those offices that we already put in place. So even with this, it gives us an opportunity to do something and step up and show other universities that these things can be done.
President Lawson?
Yeah, just echoing off of that, I submitted a testimony as well with Director Boland down in Columbus, but I encourage all people to think about what is a voice without a vote? You know, if you're on a committee and you don't have a vote, then what does that really mean? Because they can easily ignore you at that point. So, I mean, I think we should.
Senator Payne?
I sort of feel this is a very important issue. I mean, we talk so much about advocating for the students, and I think it's a great way to ensure that we have the best voice we can, having a position on the highest level of government in the school.
Senator Steele?
I agree with what all the other senators said. Also, if there is any ambiguity that you guys are having in regards to this bill, please ask questions now because this is very important. And like previous people stated, you want to know what you're voting on or entertaining. So please feel free to ask questions so we can alleviate that if you guys have any issues or don't know.
Senator Kagan?
I just have a question, like, it seems like everyone's like in agreement and like trying to get a motion passed, but like what happens after that?
So simply,
I can answer. I mean, it's just a formal position that we take. And then we're coming together with the rest of the public institutions in the state of Ohio that we share this collective sentiment as a student body, as a student government association. So from there, we obviously try to push this bill into movement.
we can send this to the Board of Trustees, we can send this to the State House, the representative who sponsored the bill, those who co-sponsored the bill. So a lot of universities, like maybe Pete said, take a lot of stances and are sending resolutions to representatives, state senators, Board of Trustee members. So I think this is a powerful position that we can take. And as President Laza said, what is a vote without a voice? So I agree with that. Senator Pichetti?
Yes, I only have like one small question. Maybe I need somebody to just clarify one real quick. But from what I've heard, the Board of Trustees sounds like that they were appointed by the governor. I didn't know if somebody, I just wanted to raise that as a question, because I'm not really sure what that would technically imply as far as.
So all Board of Trustee members are appointed by the state governor. So how it works is for the student representative here at Cleveland State, student government will go through a process of selecting candidates, and then from there those get sent to the president's office. And the president will send 5 names down to the governor's office, who will then not the governor himself, but the Board of Commission people will.
The Office of Board of Commission.
Yeah, the Office of Board of Commission will interview those 5, and then they will be selected. Being that they are representing the university, as Director Bulling was saying, statewide, that is why that is appointed by the governor, and that's at every university in the country. So that is just a state.
So we have that as a separate, can you break these two things up? So first of all, just put
Well,
whereas.
if you want to come up and, like, you want to, I was going to say that, but we can also table this vote to the end of the meeting. That way we can type this up, get it going, present it towards the end, and then if we want to redo that, we can. That way we just get on with the meeting. Director Bowen?
I have one last comment. What is be more effective than this by like a million times is if everyone in this room called the representative to tell them.
Or send an email, too.
Yeah. My point is contact. I mean,
If you guys want to know like what counties want to your residents, you know, maybe that's something you can let them know.
it's an easy website. All you have to do is wait to put it.
Senator Sheet?
What is it, like which representative, our state, local?
Yep, the state, right now it's in the Ohio House.
It's in the House, okay.
It will probably pass the House because it's already passed the House once, some version of this bill. What the problem is that it tends to fail in the Senate.
Senator Keating?
So long as we're making an amendment to this proposal, right? So long as like it seems that everybody's on agreement of this, and with the amendment made, can we end discussion and move it to the amendment and vote?
I suggest, President Ross and AVP coach are going to come up here and tweak a little bit. If somebody can entertain a motion to table this at the end of the meeting, that way we can review it once it's finalized, and then we can approve it. Senator Keating?
I move to end this proposal to the end of the, table this proposal to the end of the meeting.
Senator Abiodi? Motion on the floor is to move this discussion, table it to the end of the meeting. Is there any discussion on the matter? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passes. Well, it's just, see.
Okay. Along with that, there's also a bill for no sales on textbooks. So that's something that I'm looking into as well. I just want to update you guys on what I'm looking into, and hopefully, if that bill, I'll get different opinions on it, see what's going on, dig into it a little more, because sometimes legislation isn't always what it appears. And tell you guys about that. Hopefully, write a resolution on that, because I know a lot of people would love to save sales tax on textbooks. And they're also, going back to that point, Ohio Student Government Association, which again is Ohio Public Universities, all the student governments, they have agreed upon supporting this bill as is. Right now, like I said, I am going back and investigating on our behalf. But after that, they are the chair of the Ohio Student Government. He is sending out this petition, and after we looked into this and we supported as a body, then I was thinking that we could use the petition as kind of ways to get our Senate hours as well, and going out to students and asking them if they would like to support this bill. And if you tell somebody that they're about to save some sales tax, then I think they'll be excited about that. So along with all of these resolutions, I think it's important that we have transparency within our organization as well. So I was thinking about putting a lot of these resolutions, once they're finalized and once we vote on them, online, so that students can look and see what our student government is doing. I would greatly appreciate Director Stevens if you could help me with that project. So just an announcement kind of at the end. I know a lot of you guys are great in working with organizations, and the Interreligious Task Force on Central America, they do have human rights advocates with the Cleveland office here. There's a volunteer opportunity addressing envelopes to possible donors for them. It's literally half an hour. All you would be doing is, addressing those envelopes, and it's a really great opportunity. Yeah, we may have internships available for students, so that's really exciting. All right, I'm getting in my last announcements here, so I'm sorry about how long this is, but something that I'm personally so excited about, and the Public Policy Committee is very excited about as well. We've been working very hard to come up with an idea that is called the Cleveland State University Officer Call. Basically, the whole idea of this is to get student leaders, two representatives from every student organization on campus, into a place where there are administrators, faculty members, department chairs, board of trustees members, along with local politicians, as a networking event. Because what's better about CSU is that we have these students that are passionate, engaged, and we can show politicians that, and that'll make us have a bigger voice. When you network with somebody and they know your face, they're going to be more likely to advocate for you. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. It's going to be like a semi-formal event. It's on April 22nd. All of you will be invited. It's from 6 to 9, so clear your schedules now. I just got all the event confirmations. Everyone's really excited to dress up. I know I'm about to get a beautiful gown, so it'll be very exciting. And another thing that is also very excitable, I guess you could say, is Councilwoman Phyllis Cleveland has agreed to speak to us in a forum type setting, so that's nice that we'll be connecting with our own councilwoman who represents Cleveland State University. And then another thing that I'm working on is, if you don't know about the issue, there's an adjunct issue here, which is a part-time professor issue. They do not get as much pay at all. They get literally a quarter of what full-time professors make. They're at the poverty line. They do not get any benefits. And so these adjunct professors are struggling to teach classes here and try to see all of these different places. So it's something that a lot of us are very passionate about within CSU. And so I'm hoping to get the public policy working on that. I've met with a ton of adjunct professors these last weeks. So I'm excited to bring all their concerns to the committee and then work on that internally and then branch out from there. So thank you guys for your patience. I'm so sorry that it was so long, but it was necessary.
Thank you, Assistant Vice President Wilson, for that. Now we have Senator update from Senator Johnson and Senator Joyce.
The Secretary.
No, they don't. It's only the board members. Like the leadership.
In the meantime, I would like to invite Ms. Melanie Chambers. She's a representative from the Get Out Network, which is the nonprofit that we collab with to host the water drive. She will be a guest presenter with us today. So if you do me a favor and welcome her. I'll go ahead and give way to Senator Joyce. He's prepared a presentation for us. What we've been working on, if you aren't familiar with it, we've been doing a water drive for Flint, Michigan to help them in their time of need during their water crisis. Our campaign was the Fresh Water for Flint drive. It was in collaboration, like I said earlier, with Cleveland State University Student Government Association and the Get Out Network. This is our initial flyer that we released. And these are some of our first donations. We received over 80 cases of water in the first 2 weeks. I just want to give a quick thank you to Senator Mascio, because she was one of the first senators. On January 29th, we were actually had the opportunity to be featured in the USA Today college section for our efforts for Flint. As you can see, we're in the office, Speaker Hall and Senator Joyce. This is Ms. Chambers and Mr. Justin D. They donated, I think that was about 20 cases of water. So Get Out has been, like I said, a collaborative partner. That's one. Go back here. That's one of my favorite pictures of Senator Dr. Yarborough, I'm sad that he left too early, but that's a great smile. That was at a bake sale that we actually conducted.
Yeah. Last Friday, my fraternity held a bake sale on campus we'll raise money and a case of water for the Fresh Water for Flint drive, but we were able to raise over 30 cases of water.
Up here on the left, you'll see a picture of, this is my fraternity, Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the Delta Alpha Lambda chapter. It's our graduate chapter here in Cleveland, Ohio. They came and donated about 50 cases of water, and on the right, you'll see a U-Haul truck that we have loaded with water, which were donations that we received from all over Cleveland and the Athens area. We hosted a bottled water drive here at CSU in the Student Center in the atrium. I want to say a tremendous thank you to Senator Karan Jane. He collabed with us, was a great help in us transporting the water, setting up the display for our event, and also he helped his fund help us defray the cost of the food for the event. So thank you, Senator Jane.
Unfortunately, we were unable to get a picture with you, but we would like to get one for the Cleveland Stater. I actually had an interview, I believe it was yesterday, with the Cleveland Stater, so we'll be having an article in the Cleveland Stater, and we've also had an article in the Quadrant here at Cleveland State. And this is a picture for my fraternity members and Lewis fraternity members that participated in the water drive this past Wednesday.
Before we turn it over to Ms. Shaker, I just want to say a huge thank you to Advisor Johnston, because without her, the event on Wednesday wouldn't have been a success like it was. She was really instrumental in us getting the food that we needed for our program in such a short notice. So I apologize if we inconvenienced you at all, but we greatly appreciate everything that you've done. And I want to turn the rest of the time over to Ms. Shavers, and she's going to speak with us about the Get Out Network.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to first thank all of you for helping us and allowing us to collaborate with student government to have such a successful program. Starting out, we thought we were going to get just a few cases, and we ended up getting U-Hauls other cases. So I just want to thank you for your support. Just to put background on Get Out, it started in Columbus, Ohio, and we are now transitioning up to Cleveland. William is actually one of our scholars that is with the program that we're going to expand up to Cleveland so that we can get more programs done up here. What Get Out is an enrichment organization for the youth, aiding in their professional, social, and artistic development through technology and innovation. So with that being said, we're just trying to spread our wings up to Cleveland and also to Cincinnati. So William has been a great help in bringing this up here, and I look forward to doing more.
And just in closing, because I forgot to mention this, but if both of the flyers, the orange one and the green one, was actually designed by another one of my colleagues who's a Get Out graphic. He's the in-house graphic designer. His name is Mr. Marquise Maine. He's a student at Ohio University. He does all the graphic work, so the cool flyers and everything, the logos and everything for the project and the initiative, they were done by him. So I just wanted to thank him for that. And he couldn't be with us today because he's in class, but I just wanted to thank him as well. And in closing, I just wanted to thank the body for all the support, just the great outpouring of support that the Senate has shown the initiative. It's been really heartwarming, and just us being engaged in the community through community outreach, I think it does wonders to enhance student engagement here on campus as well as in our community. So again, I wanted to say thank you for our community service and our efforts. President Wilson.
I just want to thank you guys and everyone from your fraternities and the Get Out Network for doing this. A lot of administration and faculty have come to me, seen your article, and said that's some great work. I just want to thank you guys for doing that initiative. So
thank you for your support.
But moving forward, we probably have about maybe 350 or more cases actually that are physically here on campus. As of right now, we're still taking water and financial donations. However, we're not purchasing water ourselves anymore. We're still taking the water donations. However, most of the donations now are actually being used to actually get the water to Flint. So what we're asking from the SGA, if you know anyone that owns a trucking company or anyone that might be in the Michigan area, we're trying to figure out exactly what specific day we're shooting for. Was March 12th?
March 12th, which is
the first Saturday of spring break, to try to transport the water from Cleveland State to Flint, Michigan. So if anyone knows anyone that has a trucking company, or if you'd like to even get involved and go down with us when we're going to Flint, Michigan, I'd be greatly appreciated. Also, before I forget, so I don't know if you know what Tidal is, but Tidal is a music company that is owned by, I believe, Jay-Z. And they started something called the Social Wave Program, which is a community service outreach program that started February 4th and it goes until the 29th. So if you take a picture, they pretty much was an initiative for four-year colleges for students to get involved in community service acts. So if you post Tidal Exchange on either Instagram or Facebook, our school will be eligible to win a concert from an artist that Tidal hosts. So we're asking everyone that if you are participating in the program, or even if you have pictures of anything that we've done, or even of the case of water, you post on your Instagram or your Facebook with the hashtag Tidal Exchange, so we'd be able to get a concert here at the school that'd be free for students.
Well, that concludes our update, and thank you again for your support.
I met with these two guys earlier today. I just got a job with the marketing department for making videos, and I talked to my boss, and he wants me to make a video over this whole overview of the Flint project at CSU. So if any of you guys want to help out with any ideas, you guys have any ideas on top of your head that we could add into the video, how to help market this, a great project, and CSU in general. Next week I'll be interviewing them in person, and I'll be doing some shots in the SGA room. I want a couple shots where we're carrying some cases and putting them down. So if anybody wants to volunteer to help with that, you'll be in the video. So let me know.
Is there Dr. Yassin?
In regards to the transportation of water to Michigan, I was thinking you guys could use Helping Hand, because we are actually using Helping Hand, or three of us, to transport our clothes from here. They're actually bringing down here, and they're paying for all of that. So they're bringing a truck down here, taking it, going up there. They're called Helping Hand Relief and Development.
Okay, so we'll respond.
Yeah, let me know, and then I have to email the representatives. I'll be happy to contact them and see if they have something going on.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns?
I have one more comment. We were taking financial donations in the student government office, and the envelope that some of the money was in has gone missing. So if anyone knows where that envelope is, I'd really appreciate if you would let the speaker or William or myself know about where it's gone, because it's a major concern.
Yeah, we're not making any accusations. We know that there's a lot of things.
You know, it's a lot of stuff going on. We know people move stuff, might have got misplaced. So we're just asking if you've seen it, or if you know where it might be, please let us know.
Where was it last seen?
It was in my desk.
Yeah, it was in
South
the That's a nice soup, Paul.
I just got it the other day.
Again, so please let us know if you have any information about that and any ideas about logistics and transportation. In closing, thank you again. Thank you so much, and we're going to keep doing this. Being a change every season, we seek to see it in the world.
Okay, we have a SAB update from Secretary Gretsch.
Alright, so I sent out an email yesterday. All the new senators who are now on the reimbursement committee who are on the SGA committee, make sure you are aware of that. And people who are chairs of the committees, make sure you look at the new people on there as well, so you get them on your email list, so they're aware of that.
Does anyone have any questions for Secretary Gretsch?
I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say, if you're a new senator, or even if you're like a current senator, please be sure to watch out for the emails for those committees and make sure that you're going to them. Sometimes they go to your spam or what have you, but like it's important that you go and represent. So please pay attention to them. If you are on these committees, please go and speak your mind. I mean, that's why we're there. Don't just sit there and like listen, advocate, be engaged, and participate in these meetings.
And also, if you can't make the meeting times, please let Secretary Gretsch know, because we want to make sure that everybody can go to those. I don't know if you mentioned that. But it's really important that we have representation on these committees. And so just, again, if you, because there's set times, they don't really go off, everyone's schedule. So please make sure you can attend those meetings. Secretary Gretsch.
Also, if you are getting the email, could you forward it to me so I'm aware like what these meetings are happening? She won't put me on the list, so I'm like aware of all of them. Some of you guys are like getting emails, and I have to forward and then I'll forward them to people, just because sometimes everybody's not getting emails. I'm not sure why, but I just want to make sure everybody's going, because they don't email me, and you don't show up to a couple of them, and that's kind of bad on us. So just make sure you get that.
Any other questions for Secretary Gretsch? Okay, so this was made motion second in committee, so is there any discussion on the matter? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. Okay, next we have a director's update and SARB update from Director Lloyd.
All right, so a couple of things. Technology. So, a couple of things happened over break. One was that I co-chaired the Sexual Violence Prevention Committee on Preparedness, which is considered the policy committee. And we met, and the policy policy has been changed and modified a bunch of times, and we've gone to the point where we can publish it in a sort of way. And so we wanted to create a flow chart because that's what a lot of other universities have. What happens if you want to pursue a complaint, not pursue a complaint, police have involved something like that. And also, since our policy is semi-different because sexual assault in some sort of way is different if you are a staff, if you're a faculty member, or if you're a student, based on kind of the policies and the rights that you have, based on like union agreements and stuff like that. So I was asked to create the flow chart, and so I have the flow chart, and so I can show it to you guys and kind of go over it, and hopefully it makes it seem a little more understandable.
Good job, Kyle.
Alright, so it first starts off with someone receiving a complaint from the Office of Institutional Equity. So that's like the official body that you would make the complaint. Formally affirmative action if you don't know the DOD. And then so there's 5 things in which are next. The Office of Equity determines if the complainant wants to proceed and wants to arrange accommodations or interim measures. So if you want to have a temporary restraining order or something that came within the university while the investigation is being pursued. Once the investigation is finished, then those interim measures are no longer there. If the person doesn't want to file a complaint, OIE can just offer information and services that depression, whatever it could be, that if they don't want to file a complaint but want to help. Then it goes to them officially filing a complaint, which then the report goes through, investigation report is created, and then it goes into these 3 different categories. So for students, which is mainly what we're concerned with, if the investigation happens, there's a report from that, then it's sent to Vice President Yarbrough, and then he makes the final determination, and then if that person then wants to appeal, the appeal is sent to the provost. For faculty, the report's created, and it's given to the provost, and it then goes down to the personnel for that, and so they their union and all that stuff. For staff, it goes to the HR department, and the HR department and the department in which you are employed at, and then it goes through those appropriate policies. For the most part, they're the same across the board, but occasionally some departments have different policies on those. And then if the person doesn't file a complaint, there's nothing that happens, and that's kind of just stopped as there. However, the Office of Institutional Equity can determine if there's health and safety at risk, and if they do, that automatically leads to an investigation, regardless of if the person wants it, because it's in the better well-being of them, and that's considered a state priority. Other than like, does that seem like understandable? Like, I went through it, and because this will be on the website, not this, because Markham's gonna take this and make this a hell of a lot better than what I can. So, does anyone have any thoughts on the process that we list? This is the process in place. Originally, what the big change happened, which happened last year, was that it used to go through judicial board, and that was moved based off a recommendation out of, I want to say out of Michigan or Ohio State, one of the two, where the OCR, Ohio Civil Rights Commission, ORC, said that that's not an appropriate proceeding. And so we are working on getting students on the committee, but we don't want to go directly against what the ORC says because then they'll just tell us not to. Also, there was a article, if anyone saw it, it was a while ago, that Cleveland State had an investigation from the ORC, along with us, Oberlin, I want to say Cincinnati. I talked to Rachel King, who's our Chief Compliance Officer, because the article is very vague because we can only release if there is an investigation. And so what I was told, and then what I'm able to say, is that it's almost a second level appeal to a decision that was made. The OCR didn't come into CSU and find some massive things wrong and start an investigation. They have to do the investigation because they were sent someone who didn't like the end result of their review process. So no one thinks a lot of people equated it to how there was a documentary, The Hunting Ground, and how universities are having it go through athletics or advancement. That's not the reason that this is happening. It's happening because someone has the right to appeal outside the university. Another last thing, which may be more important for everyone here, is that I got some free chairs.
Wow.
The law building or law library, same thing, but somewhere in the law. They were upgrading something, don't know the story, don't really care. But all I know is I got some free chairs. I'm working to get some free tables and sliding chairs, but we shall see. I am now trying to work on getting this over to the Senate office. We could pay the movers, but I want to pay $80 for the chairs. So I'm currently working on that. I think that's all I need. I had the rest of my update. Oh, sorry. So we had a couple of candidates apply, and all of them were let in because all of them were really good. We had a decent amount of vacancies over the semester, so we wanted to fill them up quickly. Two of them have decided to show today, which is great. We have first, Amy, and motion to open applications.
Yes, so right now we have one graduate at large seat open. Per the Constitution, we're allowed to extend that to a total of 3, so adding an additional 2 graduate seats. SARB committee met and they felt that it was necessary to have both of the candidates who applied for the graduate at large seat fill it. So, I can just ask for it. So can someone, unless there's any discussion, can someone please entertain a motion to add an additional 2 graduate at large seats to the Senate body? Senator Roll.
I move to allocate 2 more graduate at-large seats to the CSU Senate, Student Senate.
Senator James. Motion on the floor is to add an additional 2 graduate at-large Senate seats to the CSU Senate body. Is there any discussion on the matter? Senator McCarthy.
Can you just tell me more what the logic is? Is it just because there was a lot of applicants and we wanted to be able to bring them in? Is that what I'm understanding?
So we do this at the beginning of every year for undergraduates, but we've never done it for graduates because we've never had a decent amount of graduate students being student government. So rather than keep the graduates population within the Senate small, we decided to expand it. Only because I think that it says something that we have a larger graduate population within SJ. Because A, they're a huge portion of the college, and they're a huge portion of the prestige of the university. Not that I don't love CSU, but most of the prestige comes from the master programs.
Yes, representation. Senator Roll.
I also want to say that with the Constitution, the original stipulation gives the amount of at-large seats is dependent on the number of colleges that are currently within CSU. And the rate of, so technically it's actually 2 that are currently allowed because there are 6 graduate schools or 8 graduate schools.
It says in the Constitution that you can add to make no more than.
Yeah, you can just have an additional, to have no
Which
more
is
than
what we
3.
do every year at the beginning for undergraduate.
But I also wanted to talk more about like the stipulation about why it benefits it, because there are some seats that can actually be covered as graduate students that are often taken up by undergrads. Things like student works could theoretically taken up by a grad student. Most of the time, those are filled by undergrads. So, and the number of at-large positions within the undergrads, I think, is actually are 2 colleges rather than 3. So there's actually more available there anyway.
So with the proposed appointments, how many positions are vacant?
In the graduate school.
Both, because it sounds like you can just take the at-large positions and either determine as undergraduate at large or graduate at large.
So per the if this answers per the Constitution, you can have an additional, you can only have up to 14 graduate or undergraduate at large and 3 graduate at large. Vacancy spots, I'm not entirely sure how many we have left.
For undergraduate at large, it's based on admission. So it's based on the number of students that are in any given college. So is that how
it is?
Graduate college?
Yeah, but both have stipulations in the Constitution where you say like, you can add so many.
To no more than 14.
To no more than.
So it is based on that, but we can add up to as up to 14 undergrad.
So for the graduate school, with putting the 2 candidates we have in today, we have a graduate for education, human services, law, class, and science. The ones that are currently filled are urban affairs, engineering, business, and me looking at their website. So we're kind of be halfway. I think that's one more cover.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed.
Alright, so then I would like to move to ratify the current applicants to their seats. And they are, I'll do the 2 that are here right now. Jonathan Soak, and is originally from Ohio State. He already has his bachelor's. He's doing undergrad work to get into Neomed, or is in Neomed.
I'm currently in the Neomed.
He's in Neomed. There we go.
For help.
And he is in the undergrad science. Harjit Patel is one of the graduate at large seats, and he has a lot of work in the engineering.
Any other questions, comments? This was already made motion, second in committee, so I'll ask for any discussion on this. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. Okay, so I just have a couple of things, not much. One, senators, please log your office hours. Very important. I know sometimes we forget, and I know sometimes we do them and then we don't place them. But please, by Sunday of the week, please log your office hours in 2 hours a week. I don't care if you're in there 14 hours for the week, but please just make sure you are logging at least 2 of your hours. Also, I've been putting this in my weekly updates as well. And by the way, if you want me to put anything in those, you can let me know. The interaction hours, please make sure you guys are utilizing those. We have a lot of surveys that we have out, whether you want to print them out on paper and have people use, or if you want to use the iPad, but please, those are really good tools. This is a really good tool that we can use to get some raw feedback from students. It's very important that we get these because a lot of students don't want to pop in the office. We wish every student would, but they don't. So please make sure that, for instance, if you're in a business college or if you're in an engineering college, you can either take it to that building or you can simply go in the student center. Get creative with it. I know AVP Hooks has asked that you take pictures, you make sure you're getting all the comments down. just make sure you are utilizing that as much as you can. I know Senator C and I had talked about using the interaction hour kiosk in the next week or so for the daycare survey. That is going to be out soon. So this is just one example of how we could really get some good feedback and some good responses. Vice President Fong.
To build off of interaction hours, I reached out to Claudia Lilly, she's the director for the ASC 101 classes, and she is willing to have us come to those ASC 101 classes to speak. I think that'd be a good opportunity to use interaction hours because they already have your attention. Part of their curriculum is to understand the university and building the community. That's one of the classes. I'm actually in ASC 101. I'm the only student who's a graduate student and in ASC 101. So if anyone wants to do that, to give a little presentation to an ASC 101 class, they can contact me and I'll teach you over one of those professors.
Thank you, Vice President Fong. Anything else about that? Okay, I'm going to pull up something that, I don't know. Director Stevens. No, it's Okay, so something I just want to mention is we're doing a lot of projects, we're making a lot of marketing material, we're doing a lot of posters, hot cards, blah, blah, blah. Something I want to bring up is I want to make sure that we are using one logo. It's going to be confusing for students and other organizations to see two different logos on marketing materials, on t-shirts, on whatever we have. We don't need to make a vote, but I think that there needs to be a consensus of what logo we are going to use. So it doesn't, yeah, so that's just something I want to bring up. Director Jeffrey Gospel.
Okay, so what you see on the left side, the 1 and 2, the screenshot from a phone, is actually something I have not given out yet. I will be at the next meeting. I've actually been working with the graphic designer who will have a full logo package, letterhead for all senators, rollout, and everything like that. So hopefully at that point all senators can agree that they're interested in using that logo on the left, so we can come up with standardization. So it just hasn't been.
Okay. Yeah, because in the past, this one, the one on the right, just for background for those who weren't in last year, we were using the one on the right all last year, and I know we used this last semester too. So that's why I just wanted to bring it up. That way we are using the same logo. I don't want to confuse. And I know because we had the CSU SGA one like a couple years ago. We went away with that, then we went to this one. So I just want to kind of use the same one as we're doing. So again, we don't need to make a vote. It's just to put it out there that we're using one universal logo. So does anyone have any? We don't need a vote. No. I'm just saying, I just wanted a clear thing that for future reference, like we need to make sure that we are just using one because it's going to be confusing.
Senators will have an EPS and a .png copy of the logo on the left because that's been something people have come to me about whether or not they're supposed to use the one on the right, and yet we still have the stack logo on all letterhead we release and stuff that we pass out and stuff that makes it on the posters. So, yes.
Senator Remy.
So the one on the left is already finalized, or?
Yeah, I had run that by our PR committee, and I've been working with the graphic designer on that. If any senators have any other feedback with that, I'm certainly.
Senator Steve.
Yeah.
I like the one on the right. I think it looks more formal, and it's the one that we've been using for years, so I don't think that we should change it. I don't like the presentation of the one.
It's fine. Senator Keating.
I'm not going to say my opinion, but I think before we say what's finalized or not, it should go to Senate, their approval.
Yeah, that's, we can't take a vote, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I don't.
It's a logo, so that's why it didn't have to be like this, like documented thing. So that's why I just wanted to be a sort of like clear thing of what we're doing. Senator Ron.
I'm going to disagree with you, Senator Stein. I like seeing the recommendation, and the only reason why is because having something that's not a circle or a regular shape stands out more, so you can instantly recognize that.
Senator G.
My question is, do we change the logo every year? Isn't it needed or consistent?
It's not needed, it's just something for some reason we've been doing.
The Senate can change the logo whenever the Senate wants to change the logo. For official documents that go out for the Student Government Association, we use the CSU letterhead, you know, with the seal and everything. But this is just for like when we market to students, when we put our stamp on events that we co-sponsor, stuff like that.
I agree with Speaker All. I don't want to make any like formal distinctions about what our final logo is. You know, obviously we should be consistent. There's practice, but you know, like maybe next year there's going to be an even better one. And we already decided that this is going to be what we're going to roll with, but we've already made that decision. So maybe just like pick the one that you like, but not officially.
Advisor Johnson.
I think maybe thinking about time, and it is a logo, we should maybe consider the fact that it was said that there's a package that's going to be addressed at next Senate meeting instead of us deciding right now. Let's table the discussion and wait for. That's my suggestion.
Again, we don't need to make it, but I just the idea was just to bring it up that we need to use one logo. So, Senator. Yeah, if you want to submit anything, please do it to Director Jackie Balsi. I don't want it to just to be a logo competition. It turns out to be one, then it turns out to be one. Again, I'm just putting it out there. Just make sure that you, just make sure that we are, all together on one page.
We never said which one we're going to use. So we're using both.
No, use the right. No, I don't know. There just need. Yeah, I think for right now, since we have been using this one in the past, last year, and continuing this semester, that is my suggestion. I'm not saying anything, but I think for right now, until we have a proposal or whatever we need, then for now. But I don't know if anyone has anything that they're trying to print right now. But just until we get something, my suggestion would be the one on the right. Again, we don't need to make a vote. It's just something to bring up. Does anyone else have any discussion on this? Okay, so last thing is the proposal that AVP Kosick was presented. So President Halassa, Vice President Kwong, myself, and AVP Kosick looked over the final resolution of it. If I'm going to state what we changed, and if anybody needs any clarification, please, that's the point of the discussion right now. But what we added from the document that you have is the third line, whereas the governor of the state of Ohio appoints Cleveland State University student trustees to the board with the same process the other board of trustee members are appointed. We also added Second to last line, be it further resolved that student trustees be considered as members of the Board of Trustees in determining when a quorum is present and during executive session. So those are the two things that we added. I guess I can say quorum call. Vice President.
I think you should also add, in the second to last whereas the Cleveland State Board of Trustee students representatives currently do not have the right to vote.
Oh, right here. Do not have the right to vote. Any other suggestions, comments, concerns about what this is up here? Again, I can clarify anything I need to, but those are the only things that we added for the document that you have. Senator Burke.
Speaker, I just wanted to ask your opinion. About the last Board of Trustees meeting, when they went into executive session, you couldn't go in.
No, they kicked me out. That sounds bad.
So
they
do executive session here at school.
They excuse me. Yes. Being a trustee member, I fully support this resolution. Again, I think we all, come to the same thing. What is, like President Hassa said, what is a vote without a voice? I think it's very important. What is a voice without a vote? It's very important. It's very important in these meetings. When I'm up there and I'm, voicing my opinions and my concerns, and they're taking it, but also, being able to vote on the actual issue is something that would be very beneficial to me as a student, to the other student representative, and I feel also to the other Board of Trustee members. So, does anyone else have any comments, concerns, questions on this? Because then we'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution. And if anybody has any questions about where this goes, what happens next, again, we kind of stated it, but you can ask right now. But again, this is just a formal resolution that Cleveland State Student Government approves of the House 183 bill to have voting rights for students. So it's not like this is going in legislation, it's just a formal proposal. Is there any other questions? Can I please have a motion entertained, Director Bullen?
I move for CSUSGA to adopt the resolution supporting House Bill 183, which gives student trustees the right to vote.
Senator Keating?
I second.
Motion on the floor is to adopt the resolution of approving CSU student trustees to have a vote when it comes to quorum call in executive session. Is there any discussion on the matter? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion. All right, so everyone have a great weekend. Please log your office hours and go Vikes. I adjourn this meeting at 5:02.
I follow right through. And go Vikes.
My life.